Hi guys, welcome back to another Scout the Defender YouTube video. Now last week was time for Scout's annual MOT. Now an MOT is a worrying time for all car owners, but especially Land Rover owners, when you know that there's kind of been those niggles across the year that are ultimately going to combine in whether it's going to pass or fail an MOT. Well, I took Scout over to the guys at LR Motors to check it out for its MOT, but I also booked in for a major service. Now I keep on top of the servicing as regularly as possible to ensure that not only does it maintain its value, but you've got the peace of mind that those items that really need that kind of wear and tear servicing are looked at and kept on top of. But with that comes a bill, and the guys found several things that needed attention on Scout. So in today's video, we'll walk around what the guys found, what we had to replace, and what that bill was at the end of it all. So stay tuned and let's get into it. As always, if you're enjoying this video, please drop it a like and subscribe for plenty more videos to come. I'm loving making these videos at the moment, so please subscribe and follow the journey. It really helps the channel out, and let's go. Okay guys, I'm armed with my list, with my invoice of all of the things that needed attention. First of all, obviously we had the major service, so that's changing all of the oils, all of the fluids, and generally taking a look over the car, and that's where they found all of these niggles and issues. So the major service cost £550, and then obviously there's VAT on top of that, and that uncovered a lot of the additional work. So let's now have a little look at what else they found. The first thing the guys noticed was a transfer box leak. So that was where I'd noticed that there was a little bit of oil or coolant, I couldn't quite work it out, that was on the front passenger side just underneath. So the guys took a little look at that. The next thing was that the front brake pipes and the front to rear pipes were all corroded. Now on the original MOT, the MOT that I did last time, there was an advisory that the brake pipes would need looking at. So this time they definitely needed looking at, so the guys had to take a look at those. The next thing were the rear shockers and bushes. I'd noticed for a little while that the ride had got a lot kind of firmer and a lot kind of crashier, and I wasn't sure what that particularly was, but that was that the rear shockers have basically corroded out, and obviously with that all of the new bushes needed doing. We then had the swivel seal leaking, again something that I was kind of aware of, that had been going on for a little while. And then we had front and rear brakes worn. Not only the pads but also the discs need replacing too. So let's go around and go through all of these items. The first thing the guys found was a transfer box leak. So if I have a little look on my sheet, they found that the transfer box needed basically a new seal. So the guys fitted a new O-ring, and obviously the labour, I'll come to that at the end, but the new O-ring cost £2.99 to get that fixed. While they were down at the front, they also noticed that there was a swivel seal that needed replacing. So there was just one of those, and that cost £9.99, so not too bad in terms of parts. Now the next thing on the list was something that I suspected maybe needed doing, and that was the rear shockers. I noticed when driving along that the ride was really crashy and really uncomfortable and getting kind of worse. And the guys found that the rear shockers both were corroded and needed replacing. The rear shockers cost £80 to replace. That was for the pair. And in general, I found that now that's been done, the ride is so much more comfortable. With that, they also replaced all of the bushes, and again, that's made the ride so much more kind of compliant and a lot softer. So the bush set on the shock absorbers was £3.60, so again, not too bad. Now onto the brakes. In the last MOT, I'd had an advisory that the brake lines and the brake pipes were corroded. and in this service the guys found that they definitely needed treating. So I had to have all new brake lines front to back, and at the same time they also saw that the brake discs and the brake pads were also worn almost through. So I had to have new discs on the front, and there was 2 of those at the cost of £50 each. And then I had to have obviously all of the labour for replacing all of the brake lines too, which I'll come to at the end of the video. So new discs, new brakes, new brake pads, sorry, and then all of the brake lines too. Whilst I'm at the front, the guys also found the leak in the transfer box too. So there was a new seal that was needed for that. So the new transfer to gearbox seal was £6, and again, all of the labour to go with that. Now the final thing to look at is the cost of the labour for doing the work. Summing up all of the part total, it's not actually too bad, but it's the cost of the labour to do the work that drives the cost up, especially kind of fitting the new brake lines and feeding all those in. So labour cost £1,168, which is obviously quite a big sum of money that I wasn't quite expecting, but that is, I guess, the nature of the beast with owning a vehicle like this. But it's also great to know that it's now serviced and it's done, and all of those kind of wear and tear parts have been treated, especially as we have a big road trip coming up. Right, so the big question, what was the final bill? So for the major service, plus all of the materials, all of the labour to fit the parts that needed addressing, the MOT, the total cost was £2,786. Now that's a big bill, and one that I wasn't necessarily expecting, but it does give me that peace of mind that Scout has been serviced, and all of those kind of perishable parts have been treated, especially as we have a big road trip coming up. That peace of mind that Scout has been taken care of, and should hopefully be good for another year, 2 years with a lot of those parts that have been replaced. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, a little glimpse into kind of more Defender ownership and some of the bills that you can expect. I'll be back next week with a new video, and please also, if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe for plenty more videos to come.